When I look back on the moment my engagement ended, it wasn't with a fight that dragged on for hours, or some dramatic betrayal you'd expect to see in a movie. It ended with one single sentence. One spoiled, thoughtless, cutting sentence that slipped out of my mouth before I realized how deep it would cut. I called the engagement ring Mark gave me cheap. And just like that, everything we had built, every late-night talk about the future, every promise we had made, crumbled into dust. The irony is, Mark wasn't cheap. He was careful. Thoughtful. Practical. He was the kind of man who could stretch $1 in ways I never could. He knew how to fix a leaky faucet instead of calling a plumber. He'd shop clearance racks and somehow still look sharp. He was steady and dependable, the opposite of flashy. And I told myself that's what I wanted. That's what I needed in a partner. But when you're scrolling through Instagram and seeing diamond rings so big they look like they could blind you in the sunlight, practicality starts to feel boring. My friend Sarah's fiancé had proposed with a custom $6,000 ring that sparkled in every photo. Emily's guy had surprised her with a cushion-cut diamond that practically glowed. Even my coworker, who had only been dating her boyfriend for 8 months, had a ring that looked like it belonged in a glass case at Tiffany's. And me? I didn't want to admit it out loud, but I wanted something that would make people's jaws drop. So when Mark proposed at our favorite Italian restaurant, the same place where we had our second date, I was nervous for all the wrong reasons. He was shaking, fumbling the box out of his pocket, his voice soft when he said, "I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you." He opened the box, and inside was a small, simple solitaire diamond on a thin gold band. Nothing extravagant. Nothing Instagram-worthy. Just simple. And for a moment I smiled. I said yes. People in the restaurant clapped. He kissed me and I hugged him. But even in that moment, even as I put the ring on my finger, there was this pit in my stomach. It didn't look like Sarah's. It didn't look like Emily's. It didn't scream, "Look how much I'm worth." Later that night, back at our apartment, the pit in my stomach turned into words I couldn't keep in. I started off lightly asking, "So how much did this cost?" Mark laughed nervously, like he wasn't sure why I was asking. When he told me, about $1,200. 3 months of saving and overtime. I let the disgust slip. I rolled my eyes and said, "That's it? That's all you spent?" The look on his face broke something in me I didn't even realize was still intact. His smile fell. His eyes dimmed. His whole body seemed to shrink as he said, "That's 3 months of me saying no to myself. 3 months of double shifts. 3 months of putting you first." His voice was quiet, but it wasn't weak. It was hurt. Instead of stopping, instead of realizing the gift he had given me wasn't just a ring but his time, his sacrifice, I doubled down. I said, "Maybe you should have waited until you could afford something better. People are going to think you don't value me." That was it. That was the moment everything snapped. He didn't yell. He didn't call me names. He didn't throw the ring. He just stood up, went to the bedroom, and came back with the ring box in his hand. His voice was flat, colder than I'd ever heard it. "Give it back." At first I laughed, thinking he was joking. But he didn't flinch. "Give it back." I slid the ring off my finger and placed it in his palm. He snapped the box shut and slipped it into his pocket. Then he said words that will probably echo in my head for the rest of my life. "If $1,200 isn't good enough for you, then neither am I." The next morning he was gone. His side of the closet was empty. His toothbrush gone from the bathroom. His keys left on the counter. There was no note, no dramatic goodbye. Just silence. I tried calling, texting, begging. But within a week he had blocked me everywhere. I thought maybe he'd come back after he cooled off, that he'd remember the good times and realize I didn't mean it. But he didn't. Mark wasn't the type to drag things out. When he made up his mind, he stuck to it. Mutual friends told me later, he had already started seeing someone new. A nurse. Sweet. Practical. The kind of woman who wore a plain silver band and called it perfect. Meanwhile, I was left with nothing. No fiancé. No ring. No future. And worst of all, everyone knew why. Word spread fast. My friends told people I had called a $1,200 ring cheap. Suddenly, I wasn't just single. I was labeled shallow, ungrateful, materialistic. Guys I went on dates with later would make jokes like, "Don't worry, I won't propose with anything under $10,000. and I'd laugh awkwardly, knowing it wasn't really a joke. It was a warning. And here's the thing, they weren't wrong. I had let envy and comparison poison me. Instead of seeing the sacrifice and love behind that ring, I only saw what it wasn't. I only saw how it compared to everyone else's. Sometimes I scroll through social media and see Mark with her. They look happy. He looks relaxed in a way he never did with me. He's smiling that same smile he used to give me, but now it belongs to someone who didn't need more than what he could give. Someone who thought his effort, his time, his heart, were enough. Someone who knew $1,200 wasn't cheap when it came from love. And me? I'm here, single, embarrassed, and replaying that moment over and over in my head. I thought I deserved more. I thought I was making some kind of stand about my worth. But all I did was throw away the best thing I ever had. I wanted a bigger ring. Instead, I got nothing. No fianza. No future. Just a story I'll never live down.